In the shadow of World War II, Belgium became a battleground of not just military might but also of human resilience. The swift German invasion in May 1940 left the nation reeling, its cities transformed into fortresses of occupation. Yet, amid the rubble and despair, a resistance movement was brewing, a network that would defy Nazi control. This is the story of how a seemingly innocuous factory in Brussels became a pivotal hub for the Comet Line, a clandestine network dedicated to aiding Allied airmen stranded behind enemy lines. By the time the German war machine rolled through Europe, Belgium, with its strategic location and resources, was quickly absorbed into the Nazi regime's plans. The occupation was marked by a heavy military presence, with German officers focused on consolidating power and quelling dissent. They viewed the Belgian populace as subdued and compliant, failing to recognize the simmering discontent that would soon erupt into acts of defiance. In Brussels, the heart of the Belgian resistance began to beat stronger, hidden beneath the surface of daily life. The German officers, preoccupied with military objectives and broader war strategy, overlooked the potential threat posed by local resistance movements. They dismissed scattered groups of resistance fighters as inconsequential, unaware that these fragmented efforts were coalescing into a formidable network. Among the many resistance groups, the Comet Line emerged as a beacon of hope for Allied airmen trapped in occupied territory. This network, established by courageous Belgians, was dedicated to facilitating the escape of these airmen, offering them a lifeline back to safety and the fight against tyranny. The Comet Line's operations relied heavily on the ability to produce forged documents, allowing airmen to navigate through German checkpoints undetected. When German officers patrolled the streets of Brussels, they failed to recognize the significance of the workshops that dotted the city, places where skilled artisans were quietly crafting the very documents that would enable these airmen to evade capture. The German underestimation of the resistance, particularly the Comet Line, was soon proved to be a critical miscalculation of the occupation. The German invasion of Belgium on May 10, 1940, was a rapid affair. Within 18 days, the Belgian army surrendered, and the nation was thrust into the harsh realities of Nazi occupation. The German military's strategy was characterized by speed and overwhelming force, employing tactics that would later be known as blitzkrieg. This approach left little room for organized resistance, as the occupiers quickly established control over key cities and infrastructure. Brussels, as the capital, became the focal point of German administration in Belgium. The city was transformed into a military hub, with German officers and soldiers occupying government buildings, hotels, and private residences. Daily life for the average Belgian citizen was marked by curfews, food rationing, and the constant presence of German soldiers. The atmosphere was one of fear and repression, as the Gestapo sought to root out any signs of dissent. However, beneath the oppressive surface, a spirit of resistance began to emerge. The Belgian populace, while initially stunned by the speed of the invasion, gradually organized themselves into various resistance groups. These groups varied in size, ideology, and methods, but they shared a common goal: to undermine the German occupation and assist the Allies. The Comet Line was one of the most significant of these resistance efforts. Its origins can be traced back to the early days of the occupation, when a group of Belgian patriots recognized the urgent need to aid Allied airmen who had been shot down over occupied Europe. Among these patriots was André de Jong, a young woman whose bravery and determination would become legendary. André, affectionately known as Day, was inspired by her father's commitment to the resistance. She understood the risks involved but was driven by a profound sense of duty to help those in need. Her vision was ambitious: to create a network that would facilitate the escape of Allied airmen from Belgium, through France, and into neutral Spain. This route required courage, meticulous planning, and coordination. The Comet Line relied on a network of safe houses scattered throughout Belgium and France, often located in the homes of ordinary citizens willing to risk their lives to help. These safe houses provided shelter, food, and guidance to the airmen, who were often disoriented and terrified after being shot down. The journey to safety was fraught with peril, as the airmen had to navigate through occupied territories, avoiding German patrols and checkpoints. Central to the success of the Comet Line was the ability to produce forged identity papers. These documents were essential for the airmen to pass as ordinary civilians, allowing them to move through German-held areas without arousing suspicion. The production of these forgeries was a complex operation, requiring skilled artisans who could replicate the intricate details of genuine documents. In Brussels, small workshops disguised as cobbler and print shops became the heart of this clandestine operation. Here, skilled craftsmen worked tirelessly, often under the cover of darkness, to create the forged documents that would enable the airmen to escape. The artisans employed a variety of techniques to ensure the authenticity of the papers, meticulously studying genuine identity documents to replicate their features accurately. The workshops were not just centers of forgery, they were also hubs of communication and coordination for the Comet Line. Resistance members gathered to discuss strategies, share information, and plan the logistics of each escape. The atmosphere was one of camaraderie and shared purpose, as individuals from different walks of life came together to fight against a common enemy. Despite the constant threat of discovery, the Comet Line continued to grow in both scope and effectiveness. The network's success was due in large part to the dedication and resourcefulness of its members, who worked tirelessly to ensure the safe passage of the airmen. Each successful escape became a source of pride and motivation, fueling the resistance's resolve to continue their efforts. While the war progressed, the stakes grew higher. The German authorities, initially dismissive of the resistance, began to take notice of the Comet Line's activities. The risk of exposure loomed over every operation, but the members of the Comet Line remained undeterred, driven by their commitment to the cause and the belief that their actions could make a difference in the larger conflict. The Comet Line's operations were characterized by a remarkable level of secrecy and coordination. Communication was conducted through coded messages, and the identities of key members were known only to a select few. This compartmentalization was crucial to the network's success, as it minimized the risk of exposure in the event of a capture. When the German officers continued to patrol the streets of Brussels, they remained oblivious to the significance of the workshops and the activities taking place within them. Their focus on military objectives blinded them to the growing resistance movement, allowing the Comet Line to operate with relative impunity at least for a time. The underestimation of the Belgian resistance, particularly the Comet Line, would soon prove to be a critical miscalculation, one that would have far-reaching consequences for both the occupiers and the occupied. The spirit of defiance that had begun to take root in Belgium would soon blossom into a full-fledged movement, challenging the very foundations of Nazi control. As the Comet Line's operations intensified, the demand for forged documents grew exponentially. The ability to produce authentic-looking identity papers became a crucial component of the network's success. The artisans responsible for this task were among the unsung heroes of the resistance, their skills and ingenuity playing a pivotal role in the survival of countless Allied airmen. The workshops in Brussels, disguised as ordinary cobbler and print shops, became the epicenters of this clandestine operation. Here, skilled craftsmen worked tirelessly to create documents that could withstand the scrutiny of German authorities. The process was meticulous and fraught with danger, as even the slightest error could result in exposure and capture. The artisans employed a variety of techniques to ensure the authenticity of the forged documents. They meticulously studied genuine identity papers, replicating the intricate details and security features that would pass muster at German checkpoints. This included the use of authentic stamps, signatures, and watermarks, all of which were painstakingly recreated by hand. The cobblers also played a vital role in the forgery operations. In addition to producing forged documents, they crafted specialized footwear for the airmen, designed to withstand the rigors of the journey to Spain. These shoes, often made from repurposed materials, were a testament to the resourcefulness of the resistance. Despite the inherent risks, the artisans remained committed to their craft, driven by a shared sense of purpose and a desire to aid those in need. Their work was conducted under the constant threat of discovery, as German patrols and informants posed a perpetual danger. Yet, the artisans persevered, their efforts fueled by the knowledge that their work could mean the difference between life and death for the airmen. The Germans, focused on larger military objectives, failed to recognize the significance of these operations. Their attention was directed toward the broader strategic picture, leaving the workshops in Brussels largely overlooked. This oversight allowed the Comet Line to continue its operations with relative impunity, at least for a time. As the Resistance's activities expanded, so too did the stakes. The success of the Comet Line became a source of both pride and peril, as each successful escape increased the risk of exposure. The artisans, aware of the dangers, remained steadfast in their commitment to the cause, their work a testament to the power of human ingenuity in the face of adversity. The art of forgery, as practiced by the Comet Line, was a delicate balance of skill and deception. It required a keen eye for detail and an unwavering dedication to the cause. The artisans, though often operating in the shadows, played a crucial role in the resistance effort, their work a vital component of the network's success. While the war dragged on, the Comet Line's operations became increasingly perilous. The German authorities, though initially dismissive of the resistance, began to take notice of the network's activities. The stakes grew higher with each successful escape, and the threat of discovery loomed over every operation. Yet, despite the increasing danger, the Comet Line persevered, driven by a shared commitment to the cause and an unwavering belief in the power of collective action. The artisans' work was not merely a matter of technical skill, it was an act of defiance against an oppressive regime. Each document they produced was imbued with hope, a lifeline for those who had been cast adrift in a sea of despair. The act of forging identity papers became a symbol of resistance, a way to reclaim agency in a world where freedom had been stripped away. In the face of adversity, the artisans found innovative ways to enhance their forgery techniques. They developed methods to create documents that not only looked authentic but also felt genuine. This attention to detail was crucial, as the German authorities were known to conduct thorough inspections. The artisans experimented with different types of paper, inks, and printing techniques, often using materials that were readily available in their surroundings. The workshops became a hub of creativity and collaboration. Artisans shared tips and techniques, honing their skills in an environment that fostered ingenuity. They understood that their collective efforts could mean the difference between life and death for the airmen they sought to help. This sense of camaraderie strengthened their resolve and fueled their determination to succeed. As the Comet Line gained notoriety for its success in aiding Allied airmen, the pressure on the artisans increased. German authorities, realizing that something was amiss, began to tighten their grip on occupied territories. Raids became more frequent, and the atmosphere of fear intensified. The artisans knew that one misstep could lead to their capture, yet they continued to work, driven by a sense of duty and a belief in the righteousness of their cause. The stakes were raised even higher when a series of successful escapes caught the attention of the Gestapo. The German secret police, notorious for their ruthlessness, began to investigate the Comet Line with renewed vigor. They deployed informants and intensified surveillance, seeking to uncover the identities of those involved in the resistance network. The artisans, acutely aware of the danger, took extra precautions to protect their identities and the integrity of their operations. Despite the escalating risks, the artisans remained undeterred. They understood that their work was not just about producing documents, it was about preserving lives and fighting against tyranny. Each successful escape became a testament to their resilience and resourcefulness, reinforcing their commitment to the cause. The art of forgery, while fraught with peril, also provided a sense of purpose for the artisans. They found solace in their craft, channeling their fears and frustrations into their work. The act of creating forged documents became a form of resistance, a way to assert their humanity in a world that sought to dehumanize them. As the Comet Line's operations expanded, so too did the network of artisans involved in the forgery efforts. New recruits, inspired by the bravery of those who had come before them, joined the cause, bringing fresh ideas and perspectives. This influx of talent invigorated the workshops, leading to innovations in forgery techniques and a renewed sense of hope. The artisans became adept at adapting to changing circumstances. They learned to be resourceful, using whatever materials were at hand to create the documents they needed. This adaptability was crucial, as the German authorities became increasingly vigilant in their efforts to stamp out the resistance. While the war progressed, the Comet Line's operations faced new challenges. The German military's focus shifted, and the landscape of occupied Belgium became more dangerous. The artisans had to navigate an ever-changing environment, where the threat of discovery loomed larger than ever. Yet, through it all, they remained committed to their mission, driven by a shared belief in the power of resistance. The art of forgery, once seen as a mere necessity, transformed into a powerful symbol of defiance. The artisans understood that their work was not just about creating documents, it was about standing up against oppression and asserting their right to freedom. Each forged identity paper represented a small victory in the larger struggle against tyranny. As the Comet Line continued to operate, the artisans' contributions became increasingly recognized. Their bravery and ingenuity inspired others to join the resistance, creating a ripple effect that would reverberate throughout occupied Europe. The workshops, once overlooked by German officers, became a focal point of resistance, a testament to the power of collective action in the face of adversity. The art of forgery was not merely a means to earn, it was an expression of hope and resilience. The artisans, through their skill and dedication, became the unsung heroes of the Comet Line, their work a vital component of the resistance effort. During the war raged on, their legacy would endure, a reminder of the indomitable spirit of those who dared to defy tyranny. As the conflict neared the Comet Line's operations faced an uncertain future. The liberation of Belgium in September 1944 marked a significant turning point, yet the journey to freedom was fraught with challenges. The artisans who had dedicated themselves to the resistance found themselves reflecting on the impact of their efforts and the legacy they would leave behind. The war brought a mixture of relief and sorrow. For many, the joy of liberation was tempered by the loss of comrades and the sacrifices made along the way. The artisans, who had risked their lives to produce forged documents, understood that their work had played a crucial role in the survival of countless Allied airmen. Each successful escape was a testament to their ingenuity and determination, a reminder of the power of collective action in the face of oppression. In the aftermath of liberation, the stories of the Comet Line began to emerge from the shadows. The bravery of individuals like André de Jong and the artisans who had supported her efforts became a source of inspiration for a nation rebuilding itself from the ashes of war. Their contributions were recognized not only as acts of resistance but as vital components of the broader struggle for freedom. The enduring legacy of the Comet Line extended beyond the immediate impact of its operations. It served as a powerful reminder of the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity. The artisans, who had once worked in secrecy, were now celebrated as heroes, their stories woven into the fabric of Belgium's history. The narrative of the Comet Line became a symbol of hope, illustrating the capacity for ordinary individuals to effect change in extraordinary circumstances. As Belgium emerged from the shadows of occupation, the artisans found themselves grappling with the complexities of their experiences. Many sought to reconnect with the airmen they had helped, forging bonds that transcended borders and nationalities. The shared experience of survival and resistance created a unique camaraderie, a testament to the power of solidarity in times of crisis. The post-war period also brought challenges as the artisans navigated the transition from resistance fighters to civilians. The scars of war lingered, and the memories of danger and sacrifice remained etched in their minds. Yet, amid the challenges, there was a renewed sense of purpose. Many artisans channeled their experiences into rebuilding their communities, using their skills to contribute to the reconstruction efforts. The Comet Line's legacy also extended to the broader European context. As nations grappled with the aftermath of war, the stories of resistance movements became integral to the narrative of liberation. The artisans' contributions were recognized as part of a larger tapestry of resistance across occupied Europe, highlighting the interconnectedness of struggles for freedom. In the years that followed, the Comet Line became a subject of study and reflection. Historians and scholars sought to understand the dynamics of resistance and the factors that contributed to its success. The artisans' experiences were documented, ensuring that their stories would not be forgotten. The lessons learned from the Comet Line became a source of inspiration for future generations, reminding them of the importance of standing up against oppression. As Belgium commemorated its liberation, the artisans were honored for their bravery and resilience. Ceremonies were held to recognize their contributions, and their stories were shared with the public. The recognition served not only as a tribute to their efforts but also as a reminder of the sacrifices made by countless individuals during the war. The enduring legacy of the Comet Line continued to resonate in the collective memory of Belgium. The artisans' work became a symbol of hope and resistance, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit could prevail. Their contributions were celebrated not only as acts of defiance but as expressions of humanity in the face of tyranny. As the years passed, the artisans remained committed to preserving the memory of the Comet Line. They participated in educational initiatives, sharing their experiences with younger generations. Their stories became a vital part of the narrative of resistance, ensuring that the lessons of the past would not be forgotten. The enduring legacy of the Comet Line transcended the boundaries of time and geography. It became a symbol of resilience and hope, a testament to the power of collective action in the face of adversity. The artisans, through their dedication and bravery, had left an indelible mark on history, their contributions a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit could rise to the occasion. As Belgium continued to heal and rebuild, the stories of the Comet Line served as a beacon of hope for future generations. The artisans' legacy became a source of inspiration, reminding all who heard their tales that courage and determination could triumph over tyranny. The Comet Line, once a clandestine network operating in the shadows, emerged as a symbol of resistance, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. As the Comet Line continued to expand its operations, the consequences of its success began to reverberate throughout occupied Belgium and beyond. Each successful escape of an Allied airman not only bolstered the morale of the resistance but also heightened the stakes for everyone involved. The German authorities, initially dismissive of the resistance's capabilities, began to recognize the threat posed by the Comet Line, leading to a series of crackdowns that would test the resolve of the network and its supporters. The first major consequence of the Comet Line's success was the increased scrutiny from the German military and the Gestapo. As reports of successful escapes reached high-ranking officials, the Nazis initiated a systematic hunt for those involved in the resistance. The workshops in Brussels, which had been the lifeblood of the Comet Line's operations, suddenly found themselves under the watchful eye of the occupiers. The artisans, who had previously worked in relative safety, now faced the constant threat of arrest and imprisonment. In response to this heightened danger, the Comet Line adapted its strategies. The network implemented stricter security measures, compartmentalizing information and limiting communication between its members. This was a necessary but difficult transition, as the very essence of the Comet Line had been built on trust and collaboration. The artisans and volunteers had to navigate a delicate balance between maintaining operational efficiency and ensuring their own safety. The moral dilemmas faced by these individuals were profound. They were not only risking their lives but also the lives of their families and neighbors. One particularly harrowing incident underscored the gravity of the situation. In 1943, a major operation was underway to facilitate the escape of a group of Allied airmen. The plan was meticulously crafted, with safe houses and escape routes mapped out in detail. However, a betrayal from within the network led to the exposure of key members, resulting in a devastating raid by the Gestapo. Several artisans were arrested, and the workshops were shut down. This incident sent shockwaves through the Comet Line and the broader resistance movement, serving as a grim reminder of the ever-present danger they faced. The consequences of the Comet Line's actions extended beyond the immediate threat of arrest. The German authorities retaliated against the civilian population in an effort to stifle resistance. This included mass arrests, executions, and reprisals against those suspected of aiding the Comet Line. The brutal tactics employed by the Nazis aimed to instill fear and discourage further acts of defiance. Yet, paradoxically, these actions often had the opposite effect, galvanizing the Belgian population and inspiring even greater acts of resistance. As the war continued, the Comet Line became a symbol of hope and resilience. The stories of successful escapes and the bravery of those involved spread throughout Belgium, igniting a sense of national pride and unity. The moral dilemmas faced by the artisans and volunteers were often overshadowed by the collective desire to resist oppression. The sacrifices made by individuals like André de Jong and her fellow resistance fighters became a rallying cry for those who sought to reclaim their country from the clutches of tyranny. However, the turning point for the Comet Line came with the increasing intensity of the war. As Allied forces began to gain ground in Europe, the stakes grew even higher. The German military, desperate to maintain control, intensified their efforts to root out resistance movements. The Comet Line found itself at a crossroads, facing not only the threat of discovery but also the moral implications of their actions. Each successful escape carried with it the weight of responsibility, as the network grappled with the consequences of their choices. The Comet Line's operations were not without internal conflict. As the risks escalated, some members began to question the efficacy of their efforts. The moral dilemmas of aiding Allied airmen while putting their own lives at risk weighed heavily on the hearts of many. Would their sacrifices ultimately lead to liberation, or were they merely prolonging their suffering? These questions haunted the resistance fighters, yet they remained steadfast in their commitment to the cause. In the face of adversity, the Comet Line adapted and evolved. The artisans continued to produce forged documents, while the network sought new ways to evade detection. The resilience of the resistance was a testament to the human spirit's capacity to endure in the face of overwhelming odds. The consequences of their actions, though fraught with danger, ultimately served to strengthen their resolve and commitment to the fight against oppression. As the conflict neared the Comet Line's legacy became intertwined with the broader narrative of resistance in occupied Europe. The consequences of their actions would resonate far beyond the confines of Belgium, inspiring future generations to stand against tyranny and injustice. The moral dilemmas faced by the resistance fighters would serve as a poignant reminder of the sacrifices made in the name of freedom. The aftermath of the Comet Line's operations marked a significant transformation in the landscape of resistance in Belgium. As the war neared its conclusion, the effects of the Comet Line's efforts became increasingly apparent. The network had not only facilitated the escape of numerous Allied airmen but had also fostered a spirit of defiance among the Belgian populace. The collective experience of resistance transformed the identity of the nation, uniting individuals from diverse backgrounds in a common cause. In the immediate aftermath of the war, the Comet Line's contributions were recognized as pivotal in the broader context of the Allied victory. The successful escapes of airmen, many of whom returned to fight for their countries, underscored the importance of grassroots resistance efforts. The stories of bravery and sacrifice became emblematic of the human spirit's resilience in the face of tyranny. The Comet Line, once a clandestine operation, emerged from the shadows to take its place in the annals of history. However, the transformation was not without its challenges. The war brought with it a reckoning for those who had collaborated with the Nazis. The moral complexities of resistance were laid bare as individuals grappled with the consequences of their actions during the occupation. Some members of the Comet Line faced scrutiny for their involvement, while others were celebrated as heroes. The post-war period was marked by a struggle to reconcile the past with the future, as Belgium sought to rebuild and heal from the scars of war. The enduring legacy of the Comet Line also extended to the broader European resistance movement. The tactics and strategies employed by the network became a blueprint for future resistance efforts in other occupied territories. The lessons learned from the Comet Line's experiences informed the development of more organized and coordinated resistance movements across Europe. The spirit of solidarity and cooperation that characterized the Comet Line served as a model for those who sought to challenge oppression in the years to come. In Belgium, the transformation of national identity was palpable. The collective memory of the resistance became a source of pride, as citizens reflected on their shared experiences during the occupation. The Comet Line's story was woven into the fabric of Belgian history, celebrated in literature, film, and public discourse. Monuments were erected to honor the bravery of the resistance fighters, ensuring that their sacrifices would not be forgotten. Yet, the aftermath of the Comet Line's operations also raised difficult questions about the nature of resistance and collaboration. The moral dilemmas faced by individuals during the occupation continued to haunt the national consciousness. The complexities of human behavior in times of crisis were laid bare, prompting a re-evaluation of the choices made during the war. The struggle to define heroism and culpability became a central theme in post-war Belgium, as society grappled with the enduring legacy of the occupation. As Belgium emerged from the shadows of war, the transformation of national identity was accompanied by a renewed commitment to democracy and human rights. The experiences of the Comet Line and the broader resistance movement served as a catalyst for change, inspiring a generation to advocate for justice and equality. The lessons learned from the struggle against tyranny became foundational principles in the post-war reconstruction of Belgium. In the years that followed, the Comet Line's legacy continued to resonate. The stories of its members became a source of inspiration for those who sought to challenge injustice in their own communities. The moral dilemmas faced by the resistance fighters served as a reminder of the complexities of human nature, urging future generations to confront oppression with courage and conviction. The aftermath of the Comet Line's operations marked a profound transformation in Belgium's national identity. The legacy of resistance became intertwined with the values of freedom and democracy, shaping the trajectory of the nation in the years to come. The sacrifices made by individuals like André de Jong and her fellow resistance fighters would forever be etched in the collective memory of Belgium, serving as a testament to the enduring power of hope and resilience in the face of adversity. As the dust of World War II settled over Europe, the enduring legacy of the Comet Line and its courageous members began to take shape. The war had ended, but the stories of bravery, sacrifice, and resilience continued to resonate through the years. The Comet Line not only played a crucial role in the survival of countless Allied airmen but also served as a testament to the spirit of the Belgian people in the face of tyranny. In the immediate aftermath of the war, Belgium, like much of Europe, faced the daunting task of rebuilding. The scars of occupation were deep, and the nation was left to reckon with the complexities of collaboration, resistance, and the moral ambiguities that had emerged during the conflict. The Comet Line, however, stood as a beacon of hope and a symbol of national pride. The bravery of its members was recognized not only in Belgium but also by the Allied nations, who understood the vital role the network had played in the war effort. Many of the airmen who had been rescued by the Comet Line returned to their home countries, carrying with them stories of the Belgians who had risked their lives to save them. These narratives became part of the larger tapestry of wartime history, illustrating the interconnectedness of the Allied forces and the importance of local resistance movements. The Comet Line's success in facilitating the escape of over 700 airmen was celebrated as a remarkable achievement, showcasing the power of ordinary citizens to effect change in extraordinary circumstances. In the years following the war, The contributions of the Comet Line were formally recognized through various honors and commemorations. André de Jong, the driving force behind the network, emerged as a national hero. She was awarded numerous accolades, including the title of Righteous Among the Nations by Yad Vashem, Israel's official memorial to the victims of the Holocaust. This honor was bestowed upon her for her efforts to save not only Allied airmen but also Jewish individuals who were fleeing persecution. The Belgian government also took steps to commemorate the bravery of the Comet Line and its members. Monuments were erected in honor of the resistance fighters, and memorial services were held to pay tribute to those who had sacrificed their lives in the struggle against Nazi oppression. In Brussels, a street was named after André de Jong, ensuring that her legacy would endure in the city where her courageous efforts had taken root. Moreover, the Comet Line story has been preserved in literature, film, and documentaries, ensuring that future generations would learn about the remarkable individuals who defied the odds to protect others. Books detailing the history of the Comet Line, such as D-Day, The Life and Legacy of André de Jong, have become essential reading for those interested in the resistance movements of World War II. Documentaries have brought the story to life, highlighting the bravery of ordinary citizens and the impact of their actions on the course of history. The enduring legacy of the Comet Line extends beyond mere commemoration. It has had a lasting impact on Belgian society and its collective memory of World War II. The resistance movement, exemplified by the Comet Line, has become a source of national pride, symbolizing the courage and resilience of the Belgian people in the face of oppression. This narrative has played a significant role in shaping Belgium's post-war identity, fostering a sense of unity and purpose among its citizens. In the decades following the war, Belgium underwent significant social and political changes. The enduring legacy of the Comet Line contributed to a broader understanding of resistance and collaboration during the occupation. It sparked discussions about moral responsibility, the complexities of human behavior during wartime, and the importance of standing up against tyranny. The stories of the Comet Line's members served as a reminder of the potential for individuals to make a difference, inspiring future generations to engage in acts of courage and compassion. The Comet Line's impact also extended to the realm of international relations. The network's success in aiding Allied airmen highlighted the importance of cooperation among nations in times of crisis. It underscored the value of solidarity and the need for collective action in the face of oppression. As Belgium navigated its post-war relationships with other countries, the enduring legacy of the Comet Line served as a reminder of the power of collaboration and the shared responsibility to protect human rights and dignity. In recognition of the importance of the Comet Line's legacy, educational initiatives have been established to ensure that the stories of its members are not forgotten. Schools across Belgium have incorporated lessons about the resistance movement into their curricula, teaching students about the moral complexities of war and the importance of standing up for justice. These educational programs aim to instill a sense of civic responsibility and encourage young people to reflect on their roles in society. Historical preservation efforts have also played a crucial role in maintaining the memory of the Comet Line. Museums dedicated to the history of World War II in Belgium have included exhibits on the resistance movement, showcasing artifacts, photographs, and personal stories of those involved in the Comet Line. These exhibitions serve as powerful reminders of the sacrifices made by ordinary citizens and the impact of their actions on the course of history. In addition, guided tours of significant sites related to the Comet Line have become popular among both locals and tourists. These tours provide an opportunity for individuals to connect with the history of the resistance movement, fostering a deeper understanding of the challenges faced by those who lived through the occupation. By engaging with the past, participants are encouraged to reflect on the lessons learned and the importance of preserving freedom and democracy. The enduring legacy of the Comet Line remains relevant in today's world, where issues of oppression, injustice, and the fight for human rights continue to persist. The stories of the Comet Line's members serve as a powerful reminder of the importance of standing up against tyranny and the potential for individuals to effect change. In an era marked by political polarization and social unrest, the lessons of the Comet Line resonate with those who seek to challenge injustice and advocate for the marginalized. The Comet Line's emphasis on solidarity and cooperation serves as an inspiration for contemporary movements advocating for social justice, human rights, and refugee assistance. The network's ability to mobilize ordinary citizens to take action in the face of adversity is a testament to the power of collective action. As communities around the world grapple with the challenges of displacement, persecution, and inequality, the enduring legacy of the Comet Line offers a blueprint for resilience and hope. In conclusion, the Comet Line stands as a remarkable testament to the courage and ingenuity of those who resisted oppression during World War II. Its legacy endures through the stories of its members, the recognition of their sacrifices, and the ongoing commitment to preserving their memory. As we reflect on the effect of the Comet Line, we are reminded of the power of ordinary individuals to effect change and the importance of standing up for justice in the face of tyranny. The lessons learned from this extraordinary chapter in history continue to inspire generations, urging us to remain vigilant in the pursuit of freedom and human dignity.